Thank you. Good morning. I was reading this book this morning, Has to Be Chiropractors, and my cell phone buzzed alive, and somebody asked me to introduce our next speaker, which is certainly my pleasure. I've had the privilege to be at both his mansions, the one in Pico del Gargano in Italy, as well as the one in upstate New York. And I have to tell you, this man has, our next speaker, he has probably the most extensive collection of chiropractic writings, green books, and what distinguishes him from many other doctors of chiropractic is that he's actually read those books, and he knows how to apply those things. He's probably one of the greatest chiropractic communicators that I know. Many people are concerned about my future, what's going to happen to me when I pass on, and he's like the Joe Biden of CWD. He's the vice president. And so I got to tell you, you're going to love his presentation. I can't believe you're getting CE credit for it because this is actually valuable information. He's going to show you how to communicate like nobody else does and build your practice and make a greater impact. It's my great pleasure to introduce my good friend, Dr. Joe Borio.
Zeus! Awesome, man. Awesome or what? Give him a round, man. Wow. You know what's great about that is I feel like Hellertown. I always have little props here. Authenticity, right? Real. You know, when you listen to a man like that, and it's real. And that's what people want. They want reality. So I'm going to drop some of this stuff. So it's an honor to be here. Certainly, thank you, Liam, for the introduction. Joe Biden, really? You used my joke from last night? I just want to give a shout out to certainly Danny and Michelle. Thank you very much for this event. Certainly, thank you for the gathering. Thank you for the opportunity to share chiropractic to the world. We're live streaming on IFCO, which is great. I met Danny. I was honored to be appointed to the board at Sherman College of Chiropractic, the greatest chiropractic college on the planet. And so I'm sitting there next to Chris Kent, who is somebody that I learned from for years. You know, so I'm sitting there, and Liam Schubel and Peter Kevorkian and Shane Walker and a few other people. And there's Danny Knowles. I never met Danny Knowles till the first meeting. And he is, after the meeting, no one was really nice to me except for Danny. I got to be totally straight with you. And so Danny's like, "Hey, are you hungry?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I don't know him. So he takes me to some, was it a Chinese or Taiwanese or Thai restaurant? And I sat there with him, and he is the nicest guy I've ever met. He's just a sweet, nice, great guy. And if you guys don't know that or know him, certainly we said today we don't spend enough time. The only problem is I had lunch at the Thai restaurant, and I've had diarrhea for 7 years. And I don't know what they were feeding us, but it's not good. So you get 50 minutes. Somebody says, "Hey, listen, you get 50 minutes and you want to share." And, somebody said it's like vomiting. Hopefully you guys might want to pull back. We get up here and talk. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as I'm sharing. If you could cut me open, I want you to be able to cut me open, and I want to just give you like everything I got inside so that you can do better, see more, serve more, be bigger, be stronger. Have greater communication skills, have greater confidence. Walk into the office so you can influence more people on what we offer as chiropractors. That's what I look at. So my 50 minutes here is like you're going to plug a thumb drive into me. I don't know where you want to plug it in. But if you can plug it in and download, that's what I'm going to try to do here for 50 minutes. So I went to, there's a little story on how I became a chiropractor, but fast forward, I go to chiropractic school, I go to National College of Chiropractic. You know, I call it National College of Colonics. Unfortunately, it's not a joke. Certainly my experience wasn't. So I was actually in clinic, and I had an applicator in a woman's rectum, and you know, I started standing there like, what am I doing? You know, honest to God, I mean, true story. So I get out of school. I have Elizabeth Boyke is my first practice member, or in this case, patient. She comes in with a heel spur. I got a white coat, stethoscope around my neck. I got an ultrasound unit that I bought in college, and I'm giving ultrasound to her heel spur. And so that was like my first week of practice. So first year doesn't go so well. I'm losing about $24,000 in school, and I go to my parents, and I say, listen, I'm kind of, you know, not doing so great, but I'm starting to figure it out. So if you could loan me $24,000, that would be great. And I think by next year, I can really start to kick some ass. So, you know, I don't know if anyone's ever borrowed money from an Italian before. Not great. Zeus, you know what I'm talking about? They have people that were the heavies. What did he call himself? The bruiser. So, you know, if you're late on a payment, the interest rates will kill you with Italians, and then, you know, you're walking in a limp if you don't make your payment on time. So not a great thing. So the next year in practice, I do twice as good, so now I'm down $12,000. So, of course, I got to go to my parents. Hey, Mom and Dad, can you help me? My dad's like, you know, maybe you should get some help. No, I got it. I'm stubborn. I got ego. I got pride. Nobody's going to help me. I'm going to try to figure this out on my own. And then after that second year, a friend of mine was a member of a management company. So coaching, management, mentoring, that was all frowned upon. I thought that was stupid. I thought that was embarrassing. I thought that was a sign of weakness to be trained or mentored. As crazy as that is, because I played football as an amateur, I played in college, I was an amateur fighter, Golden Glove champion, I was a professional fighter. I actually signed a 5-fight deal with Donald Trump, who's in the news. Isn't that amazing? Thought I was going to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. I bet a guy by the name of Donnie Brown in Gary, Indiana. Woo! That was painful. Second round, I got him 3 times. 3 times. I'm like, who do I hit? The guy in the middle, Joe. Hit the guy in the middle. That's a true story. But I'll tell you, I walked away from that fight, and my trainer said, I got to tell you something. You got your ass kicked. Handed to you. Handed to you. He said, but I don't know of anybody that would have got up after that first right hand. And he goes, and then you got up another time, and then you got up another time. You are one stubborn, persistent son of a bitch. And you will always succeed at whatever you put your mind towards. That's the fire in the belly. That's the conviction that you need as a chiropractor if we're going to change the direction and course of this profession. Yes? Yes. So now fast forward, I meet this guy by the name of Reggie Gold. Irene, I know I was talking about him everywhere I go. And he was their first speaker. And he had this paper flip chart before PowerPoint. And he goes, you got 100 people that walk into your office, 99 get better, 1 doesn't. Who are you thinking about on the drive home? I was thinking about the 1. And he said, because you're treating people. You're not caring for them. And he went in so many other things, and I had no idea what he was talking about. But I was like, this guy's like freaking crazy. I love him. I want to follow him. So he spoke all over. He spoke in Pennsylvania. He spoke in Canada all the time. He went down to Sherman. So then I go down to Sherman. I'm around him in Sherman. I'm like, wow, this guy's unbelievable. Changed my life. So now I start working with some other mentors, and now I start seeing, fast forward several years later, I'm seeing 600 plus people in a day. 1 doctor, 3 front desk staff, Ron Stratton, David Pendleton are two Onondaga County police officers. They would direct traffic in the morning and the afternoon shift in my office because one of the biggest problems we had were the traffic issues with people coming in and out of the office. So we stopped it with police officers because we were trying to see, my goal was to see 1,000 people in a day. I couldn't do it. But we had day sheets with 1,200 people on them. Life-changing. Biggest question I get from people. What changed you? What was the switch? Because now I'm a coach and I'm a mentor and I teach people. What was the switch? What changed in you? It's a tough question. You know, so you deconstruct your life. You're like, well, I don't know. I got to go back. And as the years go on, you keep deconstructing. Like, who am I? Why do I have a fire in my belly? Why am I a stubborn, persistent son of a bitch? Who am I? Where do I come from? So this is my family. That's my mother's side of the family. It's Toscanos. Okay, so we got Pietro, Carmine, Luigi, Anthony, and Vittorio. Not making that up. Okay? So I always thought they ran an aluminum siding business until I was about 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? And they always had these new Cadillacs and they had these magnetic signs. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I said Toscano's aluminum siding. And then I'm like 8, 9 years old, and I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm walking with my dad, you know, up to Uncle Lou's house, and I'm like, how come he doesn't have any tools? Like, a ladder, a tool belt, like, how does he do aluminum siding? Why does he always run outside and use a payphone? Like, I don't understand that. Okay? And then the picture on the photograph on the bottom, I'm sorry, is my dad's side of things. They're Borio, so they came from this little village in Italy, and they had nothing. They had $20 in their pocket, and they came to this country with 3 children, my grandparents, 3 children, my dad and my aunt and my uncle, and themselves, Ellis Island, $20. Don't speak the language, right? Unbelievable, right? So why do I share that with you? Because that's that fortitude. That's that strength. That's the resolve that was instilled in me. That you have something of value, you have something to care. They opened up with nothing. They come to this country with nothing, and they open up this restaurant, Borio's restaurant. Huge. They had thousands of people. We would serve 600 fish dinners a Friday night. My brother and I were there with my dad. It was miserable. It was horrible. I hated my father. I couldn't stand him. Like, what do you mean I had to go to work? Seriously? Oh my God. We had like a wooden soda box that I would stand on, and they would come in with shipments of fresh haddock, and I would sit there and bread them, and my brother and I would just look at each other like, oh my God, we're in like hell. You know? It's 140 degrees in the kitchen. So I'll share this because I love my father. I quote him more than anybody. We're gonna have an in-office training in my office, September 16th, which we allow only for clients. You get to come to my office, check out how we do things. And my staff, my chiropractic clients have never met my dad, so I thought it would be great to meet him. But that's my dad. So he's 24 years old in the bottom left picture there, and he went to Cornell University on a scholarship, academic scholarship, and I was got to fight back a little emotion by talking about my dad. But my grandfather had emphysema, so he dropped out of school to take care of the family restaurant, take care of the business. Awesome. So this is what I learned from my dad. I mean, there's so many things, but you know, one of the things, I didn't realize how Italian I was. Because I thought everyone had a fig tree in their backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's getting cold out, you gotta put burlap bags, you gotta put a light bulb underneath it, you gotta save the fig tree so it doesn't die the next year. You know what I'm saying? You know, I thought all moms stayed home and worked in the kitchen. I don't mean that to be sexist, honest to God, I don't. You know, that's the life I grew up. I grew up in the most beautiful family you could ever have, you know. Very blessed, very fortunate. So I had a lot of blessings. My dad was a great businessman, very smart. So I grew up with these blessings of how to run a business, how to make payroll, how to market, how to advertise, how to hire people, how to let people go. So, you know, you start deconstructing your life. Those are the blessings that I had before I ever started to be a chiropractor. So I already had some business skills, you know. My dad was like a medicinal healer. He used grappa. You guys familiar with that? It's peasant whiskey. For those of you guys that don't know what it is. So when you're done making homemade wine, which is horrible, let's all be honest, right? That's why you put fruit in the homemade wine, right? You put a piece of fruit in there because it's so horrible, you know? And you go to a family, how's the grappa? Oh, bona, like, right? And then you take the stems and the skins from the winemaking, and that's how you make grappa, which, so it's peasants, poor man's whiskey. So my father was cure-all for everything, you know what I mean? So you ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding in the Windex? I kid you not, when I watched that movie, I couldn't even breathe, I was laughing so hard, because that was my father. It was like, you know, if you have a problem, you would take a rocks glass, pour 2 shots of grappa in it, 3 or 4 packs of sugar, stir it with his finger, which who knows, I mean, it wasn't washed, and then it's like drink fest, and you're like, bam, you know, like, how you feeling? You feeling, yeah, I'm feeling, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest with you. Anything on your skin, you know, you would say, rub some cap on it. I swear to God, it worked too, it was amazing. It's like, God, how you doing? I'm so much better, I feel better, but the one thing I'll share with my dad, there's so many things, you know, and it didn't hit me till I was in a room with Sid Williams. He talked about that. It's something extra that you give it an adjustment. So my dad, who's now 81 years old, 600 to 700 dinners a day. He would finish that plate, and he had a towel over his shoulder, and he would take the plate, and he would rub the plate to make sure that everything looked perfect, and all the fingerprints were off. And then he'd slide it up under the heat lamp. Every single plate. Just to make it look perfect. He had so much pride, so much attention, so much caring. It was a part of himself. It was a reflection of himself. When he gave that product and slid it over the heat lamp, it was a reflection of who he is. Would you sign your plate? He'd say, I'd sign that one. You know, so when you adjust somebody, when you get in there and you're adjusting somebody, you know, I mean, are you giving it that something to you? Would you sign it? Is it your masterpiece? I heard somebody talking about Michelangelo. I mean, he's 87 years old. His last words were, I'm still learning. You know, you never stop learning. You're still trying to put out absolute perfection with every adjustment. And I am so blessed because these are the people that I got to hang with. I mean, it breaks my heart. I literally want to cry when I talk to students and they don't know who Fred Barton is. You know, or Jim Sigafus, or Reggie. Like, how can you not know Reggie? You know? And, I mean, I trained with Reggie. I paid him to train me. I trained with Jim Sigafus. I paid to go to DE on a regular basis and listen to Sid yell at me, boy! You know, and call you out. You're like, oh! You know, don't call me, please, Dad, don't call me, please, Dad, don't call me. Reggie, too, like, oh my God, don't even look at me, I'm sitting in the back, please don't. You know, and Fred Barge. And I heard somebody last night, we had a panel, and it was torture for me because I can't sit, like somebody sits here, you're going to sit in a chair and you're going to talk. Like, that's impossible for me, number one. And number two, you know, I can't move my hands, so I'm sitting there like this with the microphone. Like, okay, this is what I got here. You know. But you got to train. The question was, how do you quickly bring in a lot of new people? Train, mentor, be around the best, surround yourself with success. How important is chiropractic? Oh, it's really important, but I'm going to spend 10 years farming around to figure it out, and then I'm going to figure it out? People already figured it out. Go hang with them, train with them. What do you eat for breakfast? Right? Roger Bannister, first guy to break the 4-minute mile, right? No one could do it before that. Within a year, 17, 18 people break the 4-minute mile. I'd be like, dude, what sneakers do you wear? What underwear do you wear? What do you wear as a shirt? What do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? I want to do that. Right? Chiropractors, well, you know, I'm going to practice my own kind of chiropractic. There is no your own kind of chiropractic. There's chiropractic. It's not straight chiropractic. Do they have straight orthodontics? Like, it's absurd. I can't even dumb myself down enough to get into the conversation. No, there's chiropractic. It's not straight, it's chiropractic, right? It's not chiropractic nutrition. Doesn't mean you're not dismissing or disregarding it. It doesn't mean it doesn't have value. It's not chiropractic. It's an adjustment, it's subluxation, you're getting the body to work better. That's what we do as chiropractors. Surround yourself with people that talk like that. Surround yourself with people that have that vision. That's how you grow your practice. Don't figure it out, right? Okay, a couple other things here. Glasses of water. I had this moment a while back, trying to control my breathing. Pam Jarbo, trying to control my breathing. Anytime before I talk, I would always, my whole life, I'd get ready for a fight, or I'd get ready to go on the football field. So I'm like, who are you going to kill? I feel like Zeus, like, come on, look at him. We have Zeus and I have no collection problems in our practice, I can guarantee you. Former football player, former boxer, no problems. So if you have a glass of water, let's say that glass of water can handle 100 gallons of water, big glass, yes? If I put 10 gallons of water in that glass, not a trick question, guys, how many gallons of water do I have? Right? I put 30 in the other one, maybe, right? How many do I have? 30. Maybe 60 in the next one. Would you guys agree with that? 70 to 75 in the next one, yes? Maybe almost 100. So in physics, in chemistry, in biology, in universal law, if I put more of something in or on, I have more. Yes? Okay. Why doesn't it work that way in your practice? Right? How is it? Anybody have this moment? How is it that I brought in 200 or 300 new people this year, or 100 in a month, and I still see the same number of people? It doesn't even make any sense. What's happening to them all? Why aren't they staying? How can you define yourself by a number in your practice? I see 300. I see 500. Really? But you're bringing in 50, 60 people this month. How can you still only see 500? We live in this delusion like the biggest challenge in your practice is to bring in new people. I'm telling you, the biggest challenge in your practice is to express value, the necessity and the requirement of the adjustment in order for the nervous system to function at its optimum. Yes? That has to be your message each and every day. If not, everything spills over. So you're telling yourself a story of, I see 300 people a week. And we keep looking outside. You're this chiropractic profession, inside out, inside out. Yet as chiropractors, we constantly look outside of ourselves to grow. Look within. It's your glass. It's the size of your glass. It's like a lobster growing, right? You know that story? A lobster has to break its shell. You got to break its shell. And I got a news flash for you. It's not going to be comfortable. We live in this world where everything has to be comfortable. Growth isn't going to be comfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to suck. You're going to cry. You're going to doubt yourself every time you step out of your shell. But I'm telling you, that's where the magic lies. I promise you. I unlock my office, even to this day on Monday morning. I have a line of people in front of my office waiting to come in. I saw a few hundred people on Thursday before I come in. I'm not telling you that to go rah, rah, rah. I'm getting older, I'm 51. I don't move so good like I used to. But I'll tell you what, the principle is alive and well in my practice. That's how you grow. That's how you serve. Be good at getting them. Be great at keeping them. I heard Zeus talk about, hey, that's his next challenge. How do I keep people? I had a moment on Wednesday where we had 4 adjusting rooms, or an open adjusting area, and I went back and forth, and I adjusted 7 people that had been with me for 25 years in a row. How do you do that? Because you care for people. You don't treat them. The word treatment should be absolutely stripped from chiropractic. Who wants to be treated? I'm being treated. Treated? Who wants to be treated? Right? Treatment has a beginning and an end. How fun is treatment? I'm under treatment. That's horrible. I want to be on treatment. I want to be cared for. I want to be loved. I want to be served my entire life. You start your relationship that way. Another little epiphany that I had, my Borioisms. You know, you take a glass of water. If I have blue food coloring, pure principle of chiropractic, yes? And I drop it in the water, what happens to the food coloring? What's it do? It gets diluted. So if the glass represents your practice, right? What color is the water? You know, what are you dipping them in? You know, baptism means whatever's dipped in the water takes on the properties and the characteristics of the water. But if you're not dipping them in pure principle, understand the world is white, clear water. You get that? They step over your threshold. They leave your office. It's what? Allopathic crazy land. The minute they step across the threshold, it's allopathic crazy land. You have to dip them in pure blue chiropractic principle. We are a principle. We're not a profession first. That's why we get lost. That's why we lose our way. Own the principle. Study the principle. That's what you are. That's what you do. It's a profession because you do it and you get paid for it. But if it's a principle first, that's what you're going to talk about. You're going to elevate. You're a leader. You're a chiropractic leader. You're a healthcare leader. You're going to lift people up to the consciousness, to the understanding of what chiropractic is. How do we dilute it? I'll give you an example. Somebody misses their adjustment, right? And you don't say anything. I mean, really? They miss their adjustment. They're not visits and they're not appointments. They're adjustments. Value the time. Number two, if they miss and you don't say anything, you just diluted it. You just added a whole bunch of clear water to your glass. I mean, Reggie taught me that a subluxation is an abomination to the evolution of human potential. Yeah? We can sit around and go, yeah, that's great. But if you're not putting it into application in your practice, how can you miss an adjustment that's going to prevent you from evolving to your fullest expression of human potential and not say anything? I mean, believe me, the people at the chemotherapy lab aren't sitting there going, Linda, you missed your chemo today. They don't miss that appointment, right? You got to elevate the value. When you adjust them, what are you saying? If it's an abomination and you're adjusting them, are you actually having a conversation about the baseball game? Are you talking about the nervous system? Unitol. It's God connected to matter. It's God connected and expressed in matter in the human body. That's what you're reconnecting. The word subluxation, let me tell you something. The mechanists, they are small-minded without courage or vision. That's the problem. Don't let them get in your head. They don't know what gravity is. Do you understand that? Did anybody see the news? They came out with gravitational waves, right? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Right, NASA, right? So they show you gravitational waves, right? See, not knowing exactly what gravity is, it doesn't belittle us. It doesn't make us fearful. The idea that a subluxation, the word sub, less than, light, divinity, enlightenment, spirit, God is less expressed within your body. That's what you do. It's metaphysical, it's spiritual, it's mechanistic, it's all of them. Just because they can't understand it, you don't change the word gravity because you don't know it. You don't say, well, listen, let's call it heavy. until we figure it out. Right? That's how courageous they were. That's how powerful they were. That's how smart they were. That's how intelligent D.D. Palmer was. He was the Einstein of health and physiology. Own your heritage. Be proud of it. Shout it. Put pictures of D.D. Put pictures of B.J. Put pictures of your mentors in your office. I work with them every day. I have Sid. I have Reggie. I have Jim Sigafus. I've got them all. D.D. and B.J. They're on top of the ceiling. When somebody lays down to get their adjustment, they're like, who's that? Glad you asked. It's D.D. Palmer. And this whole idea of having closed rooms. Why do you have open rooms? It's not even because you can see more people. It's because you're conducting class. You're conducting class. You're sharing the message, the vision of chiropractic with every single person that walks in your office. Every time. You get to tell them what you do, and everybody else gets to hear it. How else can we dilute it? You know how people decrease the frequency of their care in your practice, right? 3 times a week. Everybody with me? 2 times a week. Once a week. And you don't even mean it. This is what you say. You go, hey, you'll only need to come in 1 time a week now. You only got to come in once a week. It ain't nothing but a thing. It's freaking meaningless at this point. You only need to come in once now. But you don't even know, but that's what you're saying. Rather than listen, your stability of your spine is so important. Your care now, your stability is going to be down to once a week. It's that much more important. That adjustment's that much more valuable. Every time you come in, remember, it's that much more significant because your care is down to once a week. I mean, those are like 4 things. I teach you 1,000 things. Of all those things you do that you don't even need to, that you're diluting what it is. Hey, how come nobody's staying? Average PVA in an office is 17 to 27. Right? What are we sharing? What are we talking about? This is a great study on physiology of pressure, compression of nerves. Okay? So just read the last one. This is 89 study. So what's it say when you press on a nerve for a period of time? Can you guys read it? So within weeks of what would press on a nerve? How would a nerve be affected? What do we call it in the spine? Yeah, there you go. Well, it's not a trick question. We're chiropractors, right? You guys are familiar with that term, right? Okay, so it's out of alignment. Inflammation, what else? Vigorous fibrotic tissue proliferation, what else? Endothelial invasion of, what's the last one?
Demyelination and necrosis.
Necrosis, right? So I came up here with my props. So think about that. Billy is born, right, with forceps. Bless you. Right? I mean, let me ask you this. If I was your OB-GYN and you just gave a baby, right, I was like, hey, great job. You got yourself a boy there. That's awesome. Oh, my God. I'm so happy to you and your husband. This is a great experience, guys. It really is. Isn't it? Anybody want a photo op, quick picture, right? You're freaking out because you're worried about what? What's the difference? What's the difference with that? Right? What's happening? What's happening to their spine? Can you guys hear me? Is there glass here? It's getting damaged. What's happening to their spine? What do you call it when they're out of alignment? Right? What's happening here? Oh, good news. They didn't use forceps on me. Well, I can assure you they did this. Or a vacuum extractor, right? Day 1, your first moment into the world is trauma to your neck, equivalent to a 20 to 30 mile an hour motor vehicle accident, yes? Within weeks of that spine being subluxated, what happens to the nerve fibers? Dead. Tissue. Dead. Dead. So if you say nothing, and you do nothing, and you don't have a conversation with them in that moment, that child, from 2 weeks forward, will never be the child, the adult, the potential that they were meant to express. Their ability to create, to think, Inspire themselves. Cognitive ability, problem solving, relationship within gravity. Everything is now permanently damaged because they're subluxated from day one. And less than 1% of the babies born in this country are checked by a chiropractor. And at this point, and I say it humbly, because I am part of you, we suck. Yes?
Yes.
So what do? I go on eBay, and I punch in obstetrical forceps, and I put them in my office, and I buy a baby, right? And I got a little Borio chiropractic onesie right there, it's a little cute. Right? What's another thing that happens at age 1? Hey, my child was great. My childbirth was great. I didn't have any problem. What else? They what? Learn to what? What? Is that what happens? Bicycle, superior F, right? How'd that go? Dad takes training wheels off. Come on, Joe, let's go. Right? How about that go? Anybody play football? Right? Yes? What's the integrity of my spinal cord? What's the integrity of my nervous system? How subluxated am I? Many of us default, we don't know what to say. It's not that you don't want to say anything. You don't know what to say, so then you don't say anything. You know what I mean? If I say nothing to mom who comes in and says, think about this. Hey, doc, I missed my adjustment Wednesday. My son had to go to the doctor because he had a problem, right? And I say nothing about the missed adjustment. What did I do? Diluted, devalued, right? And I say nothing about their child coming in for care. What did I do? So if you say nothing, what's the likelihood of them bringing in their child? Nothing. If you say nothing to somebody about chiropractic, what's the chance of them going to a chiropractor? 0. If you say something, even if you suck at it, even if your voice cracks, even if you're nervous, right? If you say something, it's always better than what? It's better to suck. It's better to suck. It's better to be nervous. I got a new goal. I started it a number of years ago. I'm almost 100%. I get on an airplane and I travel all over the world. Yes? You sitting next to me and the person next are going to chiropractic. Bottom line. You're going, or you're going to ask to have your seat changed. Right? So I came here. Danny Knowles. Where are you? Is he still here? What'd I text you? Want me to read it? Sure. You can? You can? I'm 100% on the way to Colorado, just for the record.
So I'm sitting back here, and I got a message. Danny, on a plane with a woman, her son is in terrible pain, 26 years of age, has severe neck pain, history, 3 displaced discs, needs Chiro ASAP, level under for comments. Any ideas?
Yeah, you sent me 2. So I texted her yesterday, so her son's under chiropractic care, as is she. Right? Yeah, listen, it's not one of these. We should all do it. Somebody says to me, God, you're so passionate about chiropractic, right? You're so passionate, you're so fired up. Why aren't you? Why aren't we all? I shouldn't be unique. Zeus shouldn't be unique. Liam shouldn't be unique. Should all be fired up. What's the worst thing they're going to say? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? No. Oh my God. You rejected me. They're an idiot if they say no. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, they are a little bit. All right, so real quick here, we're getting close to time. You see this right here? That's an IBF, right? So these are the ligaments that surround the nerve root. I mean, how much room? That's not even the adipose tissue, the other connective tissue. Like if I'm a nerve root, that's my mime of a nerve root, right? And I'm coming out of that IBF. Like how much room do I have? Right? I'm like claustrophobic, right? What's another way to we dilute? We use words like slightly out of alignment. It's a little bit out. Freaking kidding me? It's a little bit out. Hey, you got a little bit of cancer. Good news, it's a little aneurysm. Just a little heart attack. It's not a big deal. Right? It's an abomination to the evolution of human potential. So it's a big deal. You're out of alignment. You're subluxated. It's significant. It's a concern. It's serious. Right? I mean, how long have they been out for? We always talk about asking questions. You know, I grew up, again, Italian family. Italians never answer a question. You guys understand this, right? So if you listen to the real Italians talk, it's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? You know? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? What are you doing today? What are you doing today? Right? You never give information. Very important. Federal investigations. Very important. Used to be a joke. Did you care for all those people? They were already well? Well, I thought that's what I was supposed to fucking do. I mean, I'm a doctor, right? We're not supposed to get them well or, you know, improve their health or handle chronic problems or do anything better. You're not allowed to do anything to promote their health, God forbid. Right? So you ask questions. Just stop telling people what's wrong with them. Ask them what's wrong with them. And I say it out of love. There's a big difference between Dr. Joe said and I have. It's night and day. It's night and day. Hey, what do you see there that's a problem? What do you see there that's a concern? What's happening? What's your brain do anyways? What's it send? How long do you need care? How serious is it? Don't tell them it's serious. How serious is it? Play along. It's role play time. I'm your coach here for a few more minutes. How serious is it? Very. Yeah. So how long are you gonna need care for? Forever. Forever. Right? Makes sense, right? Why? You ever get somebody in your office and you say, oh my God, I gotta tell you, woo! Feeling great! Last time you cracked me there, man, tell you, I've been able to play golf, I feel great. You're awesome. Yes? You know, years ago, you're like, I am. But ask them, why do you think you're better? See, every time you talk to somebody, you have another opportunity to get them to understand chiropractic better. I start every day with the idea that nobody gets it. Nobody in my office gets it. Everybody went out to dilution land. They're all coming in. I gotta make my blue water deep, dark blue. I gotta get that principle. I prepare myself mentally and physically 1 hour before I start my day. I don't roll in the office a few minutes before. I'm there an hour before, preparing my mind, preparing my heart, preparing my body, because I'm going to battle. I gotta be on bedrock. I gotta be ready to kick some ass. You're gonna get challenged in every moment and every day, primarily by you. Here's your sabotage. You're right here. You start to question yourself. You gotta get right with the principle right here all the time. Because listen, it's an abomination to the evolution of human potential, yes? I can't screw around with that. I don't want to be anything but my best in that moment during the adjustment, because if I'm not, I've diluted it, they're going to leave, they're not coming back. Their family's not coming in. Their kids aren't going to get care. It sucks. It's not fair. Totally agree with you. But that's the way it is right now. Right? An orthodontist doesn't have to go through this, yes? Right? They don't go to events like this and have to get inspired. Right? No one's like, yeah, braces! Yeah! Freaking yeah! Yeah! Yes! Are you a straight orthodontist? Are you a mixture? Doc, listen, my teeth are doing great. Can I ask you a question? I was trying to lose about 15 pounds. I heard GMOs aren't really good for me. You know, and again, I get it, but it doesn't mean that you don't regard it. It'd be stupid for us to say that doesn't have anything to do with your health, but it's not chiropractic. Give them a sheet. Here you go. If you need any extra help, here's 3 people that are under my care, so they're congruent with what you teach. Go learn some nutrition. Here's some people, some physical therapists that are under my care, right? Because if not, you go to somebody else and you get hammered, yes? You guys with me? Or medical doctors, get some medical doctors under your care so that you have medical doctors to refer out to. They're going to go, hey, Dr. Joe's the man. I'm under care too. What we say is so critical. What you say. I learned that with my two boys. You know, you say something and, like the F word, for example, you know, 15 minutes later they're using it. You know, damn it. Then they're using that word. Shit. Oh. Now they're learning 3 words. So then I think, well, I'll say it in Italian, so, and then they're saying that word. It's like, you know. So understand, you're sponges. So are your patients. So are your practice members. You're sponges. Take that as an opportunity that every single freaking time they're on that table, you get to elevate their understanding of what you do and the value of what we do with every single adjustment, so that you get the experience of going up and down your office adjusting tables, and you're like, wow, I just adjusted 7 people that have been under care for 25 years. And their wives are under care, and their kids are under care. Our PVA is over 300. We've had it higher. Again, not bragging. You want to learn how to do that, you know, you got to train with people, right? Get better at adjusting above the atlas and below. Nothing's bigger than life. Sid, I could hear him. I remember sitting there and listening to him. Nothing's bigger than life. Are you into chiropractic? There's chiropractic into you, boy. Right? Like, whoa. No, it's into me, man. It's into me. Sit! Right? Used to drive down the street with a car with bullhorns talking bad about medical care, pumping up chiropractic. I mean, that son of a bitch is awesome, yeah? That's a guy I want to party with, yes? That's a guy that's going to change the world, yes? Sick plant, you know, a couple of analogies, I only got a couple of minutes here, but, you know, ask people. You can't explain an aid to people. Stop trying to. What's wrong with the plant? You want to help, but what are you going to do? Water, what else? What else? No Prozac? Fire up the truck, go get an MRI, CT scan, blood work? No antibiotics? In fact, the only reason the plant's sick, if my whole house was full of plants like that, you'd say, what, there's Zika virus in here? Holy shit, what's going on? Why are all my plants sick? Why? Exactly, you're not taking care of them. Guess what, Linda? The reason you're sitting in front of me that you're sick is why. You're not what? Because the plant's meant to be healthy, right? I could go on that for a half hour, but I don't have time, right? Scare care, hold on. Deviation in normal spinal alignment increases what? Sciatica? Headaches? What? Resulting in what? Can you guys read that? Can you see it? All right. This is the part where I ask you a question and then you read it. I don't know. I got a cue card. So deviation in the normal spinal alignment increases what? How many years? 14. That was done by chiropractors. Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery, 1981. Right? Scare care. God forbid. I mean, you can put on a pogo stick that if your child's jumping on a pogo stick and falls off, they could have a head injury that could kill them. Right? But I can't fucking tell you that if your spine's out of alignment, it's going to hurt you, it's going to kill you? Are you serious? What's wrong with us? Yes? Yes. Look what's happening to their spine. This is all medical research. Newsflash, you don't need evidence-based. If I push on a nerve, does it work better or worse? It works worse. If you take the pressure off, what happens? Yes? Yes. So just take the pressure off and then what? Keep it off for the rest of their life. Science, important? How important is science? How important is philosophy? How important is metaphysics? How important is the spiritual aspect of what we do? I got more stuff that I will give you for free. You just go right, you punch in your number to Chiropassion with the word. I will give you more stuff. Our problem isn't a lack of science. You get that, right? I mean, how many scientific articles are there on the benefits of chiropractic care? How many are there on the damage to the spinal cord from subluxation or damage from stenosis or spondylosis or narrowing of the cord? How much? Right? I mean, that's not our problem. We're the problem. We're it. And we can do it. Train, make yourself great. Get the conviction inside so strong, so powerful, that there's nothing that anyone outside you can ever say or do that'll ever even make you question. You won't even have one neuron go off and doubt yourself or doubt the principle. You do it by training, by reading, by studying, by surrounding yourself by people, men and women that are highly successful, that are doing it better and faster and greater than you are. I talked to a few people in here, Liam, Shane Walker, who I talked to a couple days ago, Pam Jarbo. I've probably adjusted more people than any chiropractor that's ever practiced chiropractic. And I don't say that to impress you. I say that so you can connect. Surround yourself with those people. It's too important. 30-second drill. I'm out of time, I have 2 more slides. 30-second drill. Worked with Reggie. Student of chiropractic takes 30 minutes. Master can do it in under a minute. It's right on YouTube. Chiropractic Consulting, 30-second drill. You ask for referrals and you get their family under care. Bob, tell me what I can do to help you. Tell me what I can do to help you. Tell me what I can do to help you so your wife and children can come in and get you. Tell me what I can do. My last slide, and my last point. I read so many books over the years, and they say, be, do, have. You guys ever heard that? Yeah. Be, do, have. So it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to be something when everything intuitively tells you that you don't have it, or you're not that person yet. Is that fair to say that? Yes? So I read that. So I want to give you something that helps me out, and I'll end it here. If you were my opponent in the fight before I lost, and I knocked you out with an overhand right, hard, pow! I just hurt myself. Right? And you're in a coma, and you're in the hospital, and you wake up, and you're surrounded by a group of people. And they go, hey, listen, you all right? You get up, yeah, I think I'm right, but I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't remember who I am. I don't know who you people are. And they say, well, you're Joe. You teach at the middle school. You're a history teacher. You're married and you have 2 kids. When you hear that, does it not evoke a story in your head right now? Do you not know what you dress like, right? What you eat, what you read, what cars you drive, what your house looks like, what you do on the weekends? Can you already imagine what that person does with that story? Yes? Let's say, same situation, you come out of the coma, and you say, geez, I don't know who I am. And they say, hey, you're Joe Borio. You're Master Sergeant Joe Borio. You're in charge of an elite fighting force for the Navy SEALs. We need to get you well. We got missions. We got men and women, Americans that are relying on you, your strategy, your inspiration, your abilities, your skills. We got to get you well. Doesn't that change everything? Doesn't that tell you a different story? Don't you change how you walk, how you talk, what you eat, how you're going to treat your body? Everything changes. Let's say you do what I do in the morning. I wake up, and I imagine somebody says, hey, are you okay? And I say, I don't remember who I am. And somebody says, you're D.D. Palmer. You're the first chiropractor to walk the planet. We need you to get well. We need your inspiration. We need your skill set. We need your passion. We need your resolve. We need your commitment. The rest of the world, the rest of humanity is relying on you. Is that not going to change everything you do in every given moment of every given day? How far will you go? What will you do? Who will you call? What things would you do to perpetuate chiropractic? Would you do what Dee Dee did? Everybody in this room, destiny is burned inside you for greatness. Everybody in this room has the opportunity, the ability to change the world. In fact, that's why we're here. You didn't choose to be here, you were called to be here. And everything you get, and everything you gather, and all the little things, the cars and the money and the trinkets, they will be dust and meaningless when you leave this planet. But what you choose to do for other people will live on for eternity, just like the great men and women that I showed you today. And all of you are destined to be one of them. It has been an absolute honor, guys. Sorry I went over. Thank you very much.